Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be learning how to do that super awesome and trippy parallax effect that you see on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, I don't know, but it's the 2.5 dimension is what it's also called. It's where like the foreground and the background move at like different rates and different directions. Super trippy, super cool. We're going to learn how to do that today. I'm going to show you how to do it in the computer first, and then we're going to go out in the field and I'm going to show you how to capture a shot that it will work with this, because you kind of have to get your shot just right for this to work. I posted this on Instagram the other day. I posted a couple of them over the past 2 weeks, I would say, and you guys really seem to enjoy them. I posted a poll the other day on an Instagram story. I asked you guys if you wanted to learn how to do this, and I got an overwhelming response of yeses, and I said I was going to do a video on it, so this is the video. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, click this. Actually, you can't click that, but just go to that on Instagram and then follow me on Twitter as well, which is going to be over here. Without further ado, let's jump into the computer and I'm going to show you guys how to do the editing part, and then we'll go out and we'll get that. Also, my hair, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat so often, because I usually don't, is because it's too long right now and I don't feel like fixing it. So slap this bad boy on, ready to go. Let's get it. First thing you're going to want to do is open up Photoshop, and you're going to want to drag in your picture that you want to do this effect on. Now I'm using a picture that I shot at Castlewood a couple weekends ago actually. This picture's already been edited. If you want to see my tutorial on how to edit pictures, I have not made a video on that yet, but I'll put an info card on the top right of the screen that you can click right now once I make that video. So this picture is already edited and I want to create a parallax 2.5 dimension effect on this. This isn't the ideal picture to do this on, and the reason being is because you can see my feet and where I'm standing. You'd want to have a shot that would be something kind of like this, or maybe like this, of you looking off into the distance, and you don't want really close background in there. You want it to be kind of distant, but we're not going to worry about it because we can work with that with cropping. First things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab the pen tool, which you can find right here, and you're just going to want to kind of outline your body or whatever you're wanting to cut out of the image. I'm going to speed through this because this does take some time. If you want it to be the best it can possibly be, you do need to spend a little bit of time here and try to get really close. I will speed through this and I'll come back to you guys when I'm finished. Alright, I'm about to connect the finishing dot here, so you'll click it just like that. And then you're also going to want to, you see here this kind of connects right here, go in there and add extra points. I didn't do it, but what I could have done is I could have gone up through here and then just went straight past and then kind of came back around, and that's what I should have done, because you want to mask out all the background you can, but it'll work this way too. And the reason I say that is because since this is such a blending in factor for the background we're on, you really won't notice it too much, but if you want, in a perfect world, you would do that as well. So now that we've kind of masked our whole body off here, you're going to want to right click on the path somewhere and click make selection, and then feather radius, you can do 1 or 2. I'm just going to keep it on 1 right now, and you'll see it will create the selection, and you can kind of see how that's going to work. So the next thing you're going to do is going to click Control C and create a new layer, and then we're going to Control V, which is just pasting that on that layer. So if I hide this, it's just my body. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come back down here, and then we're going to hold down Control and click this. It's going to take that selection back. We're going to go up to Edit, Fill, or you can do Shift F5 if you want to use a shortcut. Contents, Content Aware, Fill, and we're going to click OK. Let that process for a second. And you're going to be like, nothing happened. Well, if you hide this top layer, you're going to see that it did a pretty darn good job of filling in. But there is still a little bit, and this is where we will use the clone stamp and kind of clean it up just a tad. So I'm going to make my brush size, that's about where I want to be. And you're going to want to select, you'll hold Alt, and you're going to want to select what you're going to stamp. So I'll select like right here, and we'll kind of just stamp this in. Keep in mind this is going to be something that it's going to be so minute on the finished product that you'll barely see any of this. So this doesn't have to be fantastic. I noticed down here by my shoes it looks pretty weird, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead just kind of patch that in a little bit. The clone stamp's really an amazing tool, and you can do so much with it to help. I've taken a lot of people out of images with clone stamp before. I've taken rafts off of a beach before. You can do a lot. So that looks pretty decent. Let's go ahead and take that layer back up, and we're just going to take both of these layers and we're going to go to File, New. And depending on where you're going to post this, I usually post mine on Instagram Stories. So the file size for that's going to be 1080 by 1920. And then you're going to want the resolution to 72. So we'll go ahead and click Create. We'll drag these two right into here. And now we're going to hit Control T. And we're going to zoom out so we can see this. And we're just going to scale it down quite a bit so we can see where we're at. It needs to be to where my feet are not visible, because that will add a funny effect. Make sure you're holding Shift as you're scaling this so it scales proportionally as well. That's very important. So I don't really want much of the rock in there at all because it's going to make it look a little bit weird, and I'll talk more about this whenever we go out to shoot one of these, but I think there is good. So let me go back through that, and I'll click Convert to Smart Object, Convert to Smart Object. You're going to go up to Window and click Timeline. Create Video Timeline, and we're going to do the same thing, Transform. Now I want me to be growing in size, so we'll Control T, and I want to go to about there, I think, and I'm going to move myself kind of back to where I was. I don't want my body really to move. I think that's pretty good. I want it to be pretty subtle on this one. Now we'll go down to layer 1 and we'll do the same thing, except for since I'm growing on that one, I want to be shrinking in this direction on this one. So we'll be going like that. And if we look at that through, you'll see what kind of effect we have here. That was the effect we were going for, and now we're going to go out in the field. I say field, I meant like outside. We're going to go out there and we're going to show you how to shoot this photo so you can get something you can actually work with in post. Also, kind of forgot to mention this, you can pretty much do this with any lens you want. I have done it with pretty much all of my lenses. I would say the best outcome though is if you had like the 50 to 85 mil range, you could probably get these shots extremely easy. It's a little more challenging with the wide lens, but it can be done, so yeah. Alright, I came outside and there's a pretty beautiful sunset happening right now. Set this up on the tripod and I'm going to show you guys how you can kind of get this shot. Now I'm using my 10 to 18 mil wide angle lens. Ideally, like I said before, you're going to want to have like a 50 to 85 mil range. There's a deer, I just now realized. He's like right over there. But the sunset's really pretty, so we're going to go ahead and get this shot. Alright, so this is kind of what the composition of your shot should be. You shouldn't see real close foreground, and the background should be very distant. And kind of draw these arrows here to show you what that's supposed to look like. Alright, so I got a photo that I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to go ahead and run inside and edit that. I'll show that on screen here so you guys can see kind of what I ended up with. It was a little bit difficult because the sky was so bright. If I would have waited just a little bit, probably till like now when it looks super bright, but it's getting a lot better. The sunset tonight was just absolutely beautiful. But I'm going to work my post-production magic on that one, and I'll post that on here and show you guys what the final thing looked like. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you liked, please drop a like on this video and please subscribe to my channel for more content. I'm trying to just come out with the best content I possibly can, as much as I possibly can. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.